Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu mavit vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 11 to 15 of chapter 3. Devan bhavayatanena,
Devan bhavayatanena,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
te deva bhavayantu vaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
parasparam bhavayantaha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Shreyah paramavapsyatha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha,
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha,
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha,
Taidattana pradayaibhyaha,
Yo bhunkte stena eva saha,
Yo bhunkte stena eva saha,
Yajna shishtashinah santaha,
Yajna shishtashinah santaha,
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi,
Muchyante sarva kilbishaihi,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Bhunjate te tvagam papaha,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Ye pachantyatmakaranat,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
Annad bhavanti bhutani,
Parjanyadanna sambhavaha,
पर्जन्यादन्नसम्भवः
यज्ञाद्भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञाद्भवति पर्जन्यः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
यज्ञः कर्मसमुद्भवः
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम्
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So we have been seeing some of the dimensions of stenaha in verse number 12. So stenaha literally means thief. So as I was telling you, he is using an extreme word to emphasize on this negative principle. So if you take that literally to the extreme, and if you assess yourself, you will say this is not applicable to me. Actually, what is interesting is, if you take any principle, whether it is positive or negative, and if you take it to that extreme, 100%, and if you see whether it is applicable to you, you will find that it is not applicable. See, what you need to understand is that nobody is at 0% level. Nobody is at 100% level. When I say no one, we are excluding the great yogis who have become sthita prajnas. Otherwise, as a sadhak, when someone approaches the Bhagavad Gita, he or she will not belong to 0% for sure. At the same time, that person will not be at 100% level. So you will be somewhere in between. You may be 20%, you may be 30%, you may be 50%. Certain qualities you may have more. That is, the percentage of certain qualities in you which they are recommending will be there in you at a higher percentage. Certain qualities will be there at a lesser percentage. Similarly, the negatives also. Some qualities will be there at in a very small way only. Certain qualities will be there in a very strong way. So it is for you to first find that out. You have to do the self-study. You have to do the research and find out. Now, not only that, when he is giving these principles, he always takes it to the 100% level and then gives it. This is the style of our Shastras. Whenever they talk of a negative quality or of a positive quality, they always take it to that extreme. What is the highest limit possible? And they use it in that sense. Now, if you literally take it that way, then you will find that the entire scriptures, or even if you take the Bhagavad Gita, the entire Bhagavad Gita will not be available to you, will not be applicable to you. For example, if we take Sthita Prajna, one who is established in wisdom, now he is talking from the highest level, 100% level. We saw it in the second chapter. Now, if you directly take it and say, does it fit in with my personality? No. Therefore, you will close it and go. That is not the right approach. Even if you take Yajna, we've been seeing Ishtan, Bhogan. Now we are seeing a negative trait, that is Stenaha, being a thief. Now all these have been given from the extreme standpoint. So if you take it that way and try to see whether it's applicable to you, it will not be applicable. So what you should do is, when you are trying to understand a principle, you should take it to the extreme and understand it. Whether it is a positive principle or whether it is a negative principle which is asking you to avoid. Because there is an advantage of stretching something to its fullest limit and then analyzing it. Because that will give you a comprehensive understanding of what that principle stands for. And when we say 100%, even that is conditioned by your mind only. Because if you can understand something 100%, it means you are at that level. So to whatever extent you can stretch, to the extreme limit which you can stretch your mind, to, from that level, when you understand a principle, that is 100% for you. Now that will help you to get a comprehensive, deep understanding of the principle which you are trying to study. It's very useful. But then the second step is even more important. When you apply it in your life, now you should not use that 100% thing. You will have to determine your level and see how to bring down this principle to your level. For example, he says, Sthita Prajna is one who is unaffected by joy and sorrow. This is the highest level. Now you bring it down from your level. Okay, even if I get affected, how fast can I get back to normalcy? That may be the starting point. And then you keep on doing your sadhana and you will come to that level where you will become firmly established 100% at that level. But till then, you need to bring it down to your level, for which you need to determine what your level is. So if you are practicing yajna, 100% if you are able to practice the principle of yajna, actually you don't require the Bhagavad Gita itself. Because you are already living that wisdom. So nobody will be at that level. Even when these principles are being explained here, it is being explained from the highest standpoint, the extreme limit. Some practical tips are also being given so that you can utilize them at your level. So for understanding, you stretch the principle, apply it to the extreme limit, then you will get a full grasp of that. But when it comes to application, you will have to be very careful. If you apply a positive quality which is at 100% level to your present level, it may not match at all. Actually, you may end up giving up the sadhana because you will feel, my God, Sthita Prajna, Yajna, these things are too high. It is impossible for me to practice all this, you will lose your confidence and you will stop your sadhana. This happens to many people. Many sadhaks, they start off with a lot of enthusiasm and all that. But after a while, they get highly critical about themselves. They lose their confidence. They start being very harsh to themselves. Oh, I am useless, I am this. Because they find that whatever is being given in the Bhagavad Gita is not at all applicable to them. Their personality is, far, far away from what he is talking about. So they lose their confidence. So this is an extremely important point which all you sadhak should note. Sadhana is always done at your level. And from your level, you keep on moving. So every principle can be brought to your level. And that is when your sadhana will be fruitful. It will be successful for you. You can obtain practical results only when you practicalize it in this way which is being explained to you. Supposing the statement is made, everything is an illusion. Now that is at from the highest level. But what is your level? Are you seeing everything as an illusion? No. If you are already experiencing the whole world as an illusion, then you will not require that wisdom at all. So you have to bring it down. What is my level today? Even if a small challenge comes, that is affecting my mind. So you bring down that wisdom. Okay, from my level, how can I apply that? To become a little objective towards whatever I'm experiencing. That is the first step, the baby step towards absorbing that highest wisdom. So even when people talk about God, the infinite, now they talk about God from a very high level. They say God is present everywhere. Yes, it is true. That is the principle at its extreme level. There is nothing but God. So when you read all that, that kind of inspires you. But practically, are you experiencing that God principle everywhere? No. So you will get bogged down. Bhagavad Gita is talking about such high principles. I am unable to practice anything. Many a times the sadhaks go through such phases where they feel that they are unable to practice anything. It is impossible that you will be able to, you will not be able to practice anything. All these principles can be practiced effectively provided you bring them to your level. So this is a fundamental principle. It is very simple when it is explained, but the amazing thing is almost everyone misses this. So when you take a principle like stenaha, the very word stenaha means thief or robber. Now that is at the extreme level. So if you take it and say, am I a thief? No, therefore this is not applicable to me. You will miss out the beautiful sadhana tips which he is providing in this verse through this particular word stenaha. Just because you don't bring it to your level, whatever level you are in. So when it comes to understanding, when it comes to inspiration, always use the highest standpoint that will uplift you. The moment you hear God is everywhere, that inspires you tremendously. I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am that Supreme Self. Immediately it inspires you so much. But when you actually try and practice it, you may find it very difficult. Supposing the person who is irritating you a lot, now he comes in front of you, and if you say he is also a manifestation of God, no, all this will not work. Why? Because you have not yet come to that level. So always be practical. For knowledge, for understanding, for inspiration, stretch the principle to the highest. For practical application, now you have to bring it down and see how can I apply it in my life today. If he is saying yajna, in what way can I apply it in a small way in the different aspects of my life? How can this principle of stenaha, that is not being a stenaha, how can it be applied at at my level in my day-to-day life? So if you say, of course I am not a thief, I am not a robber, then this whole thing will go. That is why I am giving you these various dimensions and the practical sadhana messages through these dimensions. They will give you an insight, a deep insight, and help you to practicalize these principles. This is a very important aspect of the yogic approach. A mere intellectual approach will just focus on the principle per se. But the yogic approach is not that. It is how do you bring it to your level and how do you apply it from your present, at your present level in all your circumstances, so that you can grow spiritually, you can transform your life. That is the ultimate aim. Not achieving a mere intellectual understanding of these principles. Then they just become concepts, intellectual concepts. You may talk big, you may know a lot of things. Many people read so many books, What is the use of all that reading? You'll have to ask yourself these basic questions. It is not how much you read that matters. It is not how many points you know that matters. What is it that I am practicing in life? How much am I practicing? You may be able to repeat the entire Bhagavad Gita. You may be a great Vedic scholar. But what is the condition of your mind? How much are you able to practice in your life? See, great yogis, great saints were not necessarily great scholars of the scriptures. From a scholastic point of view, not all of them were great scholars. A few of them may have been. But many saints, many yogis, many siddhas were not having the scholastic knowledge of the scriptures. But whatever they picked up, the essentials, those things they practiced fully. You may go on reading the theory about swimming, but ultimately do you know to swim or not? If you are put in waters, can you swim? That is the question. So you may go on studying, But in your life, how much are you affected? What are the challenges which affect you today? How much are you able to keep your mind high? High in the sense beyond these challenges. How much are you able to think of the divinity, be attuned with an infinite and function in life? These are the hard questions which you should ask yourself. So the day you start differentiating these two things, that is, one is the knowledge part, the inspiration part, and the other is the practical application part, that day your sadhana will become more intense. Even if the highest principle is given, you will not lose your confidence. Yes, of course, we are dealing with the highest principles of life, because the Bhagavad Gita is nothing but it's a magnificent exposition of the Upanishads, and the Upanishads deal with the highest knowledge. So you should use all these for your inspiration and then simultaneously practicalize them in your life. So many sadhaks, they falter there, and then they either lose confidence or they say these things are impractical, they are probably they would have been applicable in those days, but today it is impossible to practice. These are all common statements which people make, Why do they do that? Because they are not connecting their life to these principles in a practical way. So in the yogic path, we yogis have been given very strict norms. That is, they say, when can you teach others? Not if you know all these. That is not enough. The first criteria is you should know. That is there. But that is not enough. The real criteria is how much have you experienced, how much have you practiced and experienced. They put one more filter. They say it is not enough if you get an experience. You should intensify your sadhana. You should do that much tapas where you are able to give the other person an experience. Then you can teach these things. Then alone you will be able to teach. Otherwise, it will just be theory. So you should understand the difference between a good speaker and a yogi. A yogi may be a good speaker, he may not be a good speaker also. It does not matter. But he will be able to give you that experience, that depth, and communicate whatever is necessary for you. So you being a sadhak and you're launched, you have launched your sadhana in the yogic way, you're following the yogic approach, you should also put these standards for yourself. How much do I know? First question. Second question is, how much am I practicing? If you find that your practice level is very minimum, then you will say how to practice this. For that, you need to bring down the principle to your level. What is happening in my life? Today I am quarreling with my spouse. how to apply these things there. I am not performing well in this particular area. How to apply these principles there. I am not having proper eating habits. I am not being a disciplined person. Now how to practice this there? When it comes to business, I am not being systematic. I am not being organized. Now how to practice it there? He says, stay in a, no? It is nothing but a tamasic quality. So tamas doesn't allow you to be disciplined. So you can practice it there. So in this exercise of getting the higher knowledge, you should not lose sight of your level. You should not lose sight of the practical experiences which you are going through. If we merely talk from the practical level without these higher principles, that also will not work. It is this combination alone which can create a transformation within you. On one hand, the highest principles. Highest means the same principle extended to the 100% level. So, highest principles. On the other hand, practicality. So all the great yogis emphasized on this. If they said meditate on one hand, on the other hand, do karma yoga, do your duties in life. Your meditation should help you to do your duties. You should not shirk your duties and then say, I am doing sadhana, I am doing meditation. That is of no use. Both should go hand in hand. I was telling you about the principle of dvandvas, no? Pairs of opposites. So this is also a pair of opposites only. On one hand is the highest principle, on the other hand is the practical application of the same principle. Both should go hand in hand. If you straight away try to practice something without a proper understanding of it, you will not be able to practice. You will not get good results and therefore you will stop. If you are only dealing with the highest principles, you leave out practicality, then also you are just merely talking high. You are only philosophizing. But you are not really getting into the depth of it. That also will not help. So it is only by applying these principles of pairs of opposites that you can gain the true wisdom. See, again, since I was giving you that principle of give and take, which is based on the pairs of opposites, I am telling you how to practicalize that principle itself. How to use it to your advantage. So, stenaha from an extreme level, it means a thief. That may not be applicable to you. But the various other dimensions will help you to practicalize it. We have been seeing a stenaha is one who wants what belongs to others. So whenever you compare yourself with someone, then you are not being yourself. You're looking at the other person and saying what that person has. And you want to steal it. I'm putting the word steal, that is a very strong word, but you're wanting something which is belonging to others. Instead, why don't you create it? Why don't you develop it? Why don't you acquire it? That is a sattvic way. So you should learn to create whatever you want in your life. Then we saw that a stenaha is one who looks for shortcuts. So, where all are you looking for shortcuts? Looking for shortcuts means, it doesn't mean you have to extend your activity for a longer period of time unnecessarily. See, don't misunderstand this. What it means is, the tendency to want a result without putting any effort. That is what is meant by looking for shortcuts. Because even that, if you take it literally, oh, nothing should be finished fast. So let me start doing things in a very slow way. Why? Because I should not look for shortcuts. It is not that. Of course, when you're practically doing it, you have to do it in the shortest possible time, but without affecting the quality and productivity. Looking for shortcuts means wanting that high quality, but not wanting to pay the price, not wanting to put in efforts. That is the tamas. So you have to find out for yourself. You see, you ask yourself, do I want to be rich? Nobody is going to say no. Yes, but what efforts am I putting? Am I putting any effort to save? Am I putting any effort to keep my desires well under control? Because when the desires go out of your control, you will start spending beyond what your income is. You will drain away all your wealth. Am I following all those principles? Invariably you will find that you will not be following. Then what is the use of saying I want to become rich? I want to be rich. I want to be happy. Do I want to be happy? Obvious answer will be yes. Then am I doing those things which will give me happiness? No. So I will not do all that, but I want the result. Do I want to become a sthita prajna? Do I want to grow spiritually? Definitely all of you will say yes. Then what should I do for that? I should do the sadhana on a daily basis. I should practice all this. See, when you list down all this, I should make use of the empowerment programs and get the higher grace. Am I doing all this properly? That you will not want to do. But results alone. Sir, how to achieve enlightenment? Some people ask me this. How to become a perfect person? How to become a sthita prajna? The entire Sunday sessions are laying down the path for you, So that is what is meant by looking for shortcuts. And then fundamentally adharmic. All this we have already seen. I'm only giving you a few more tips there, which will help you to consolidate that wisdom. So a stenaha is one who will always be unrighteous. So wanting that which belongs to others is unrighteousness only. It amounts to harming another person. So a stenaha will not hesitate to be unrighteous. See, that is the difference between a tamasic and a rajasic person. A rajasic person will also be unrighteous sometimes, but he will hesitate a bit. Something in him will tell him. A tamasic person has gone to that extent where there will be no hesitation at all. He will do all the wrong things, and I'm putting it in quotes, he will happily do those wrong things. He will give you justifications as to why it is right also. He may say, he may get into all kinds of indulgences. He may become addicted to, let's say, alcohol or drugs or something. And then he'll give you a philosophy. He'll say, after all, life is just once. Let us, enjoy. So that is a tamasic quality. A rajasic person may also be unrighteous at times, but he will not feel comfortable with that. See, being comfortable with adharma is a trait of a stenaha. So you have to bring it to your level. Whenever you're doing something which is wrong and you're feeling absolutely comfortable about it, then you're minimizing the chances of changing. Whenever you have a negative habit or negative quality, You should feel uncomfortable about it. Only then you will put efforts to change, no? If you are feeling absolutely comfortable, then you are closing all the doors for change. That is why the yogis say that tamas takes you down. They, in the Upanishads, they say, it's blinding. When it comes to rajas, they use the word binding. It binds you. But when it comes to tamas, it completely blinds you. It blinds your vision. And it causes very fast devolution. You have to be very careful with tamas. And as the tamas in you increases, you're increasing the chances of devolving very fast. So this is another tip I'm giving you to help you understand and practicalize this. Whenever you're very comfortable with something which is obviously harmful, which is obviously wrong, which is obviously adharmic or unrighteous, then understand that the tamas in you in that area is very strong. If you are doing something wrong and if your conscience is pricking you, it means you are rajasic in that area. If you are doing something wrong and the conscience is not pricking you so much, but it just directs you, it tells you this is wrong and you immediately correct it, that means it is sattva. You are at a sattvic level. It's not that a sattvic person never makes mistakes. See, practically, due to so many reasons, mistakes will happen. But a sattvic person is not going to sit and brood over mistakes. He'll identify it. His conscience will help him to identify that. He'll immediately correct it. He will not develop guilt over his mistakes because the correction process is immediate. A rajasic person is one who will make mistakes and he'll just develop a guilt over it. He'll get very upset. Then he has to put in more effort to correct the situation. A tamasic person is one who commits a mistake and he justifies that. He says that is right. He is very comfortable. So he has not even come up to that level of being guilty. That is why we say a tamasic person and a sattvic person will look alike from outside. Because both of them are very happy. A sattvic person is truly happy. A tamasic person is happy in a reckless way. So this is a very beautiful tip which has been given to you. Being comfortable with dirt, being comfortable with negative things, that is a sign of tamas. Some people are very comfortable if their room is dirty. I have actually seen that. If you make some efforts to help that person to clean things up, they will become uncomfortable. When you get acclimatized to a particular negative quality, then you become very comfortable there. So tamas will deteriorate into, rajas will deteriorate into tamas. And then tamas will start taking you down. So it is better to be rajasic than tamasic. But the best is sattvic. And of course, the real best is going beyond the three gunas. Getting to that state of infinite, where you become a gunatita. Gunatita means guna atita, beyond the three gunas. That is the highest state, the state of sthita prajna. So that is one dimension we saw. And then another dimension which we saw is a stenaha is one who has no gratitude for anything in life. He keeps on complaining. So this is also easy to apply from your level. Whatever be your level, you can apply this easily. Whenever you become thankless, then understand that tamas has started working. Even in your day-to-day transactions, your partner does something for you without any gratitude, you just disregard that, then that is tamas. That is being a stenaha. I'm giving an example of a partner. Like this, you can see how to apply it in your life. Basically, no gratitude. And then we saw another dimension, another powerful dimension, not empathizing or identifying with others, especially emotions. So identification with others' emotions is an outcome of unconditional love. Actually, unconditional love and identification, they both go together. Whenever you identify with someone, you will generate unconditional love. Whenever you generate unconditional love, you will identify more with others. That is how they go hand in hand. Not being sensitive towards others' emotions. Again, it goes along with having no gratitude. If you are unable to even recognize and identify with others, how can you be grateful? A tamasic person is so focused on himself or herself. I, me, myself. There is no space for others in the internal consciousness. They think that the whole world is there only to serve them. So if you take our Puranic stories, Puranic incidents, you will always find that asuras were like that. An asura, commonly we translate that as demon. Now, who is an asura? One who has become extremely wicked. That person keeps harming others. All this will fit in. All the dimensions which I am talking of stenaha will all fit into the asuric characters in our Puranas. They will want something which belongs to the other person. Actually, what is interesting is in our Puranas, they have shown the asuras also performing a lot of tapas. They also do a lot of sadhana. But what is their aim? Their aim is to harm others. Using the power of that sadhana, they try to grab what belongs to others. Instead, if they use the same power to create a life for themselves in a righteous way, they will no longer be asuras. The opposite of asura is sura. Sura means being divine. Actually, it is well within their reach because they have, all these asuras, they have performed a lot of tapas. They have put the effort initially. At some point, they stop that effort. And then tamas takes over. So even when you're doing your sadhana, if you're tamasic, at some point you will stop off. See, the moment you get some benefits, you will stop off. That is also an asuric pravriti. See, the standard which these yogis give us is actually very high. And the higher the standard, the better are the chances of we keep on growing continuously. If the standard which you keep for yourself is very low, then where is the question of growth? So, identifying and empathizing with others is so important. See, all the quarrels, why all the wars, why do wars happen? Because they fail to identify with each other. One nation wants to conquer another nation. Now, for that, this person his nation is so important. But what he fails to empathize with are the emotions of the people who are living in the other country. For that person, his country is important, no? The emotion is same. The country may be different, but the emotion is same. How does a war start? It is because of this quality only, lack of empathy, lack of identification. How do all your quarrels start? Because of lack of identification. If I say this, if I do this, what will be the effect on the other person? No, I just don't care. I will do whatever I like. That I, me, myself, that I keeps prominently coming into your life. And that is when you lose this empathy. So as you do your daily sadhana, this is something which is bound to happen. You can keep this as a yardstick. Am I going on the right track or not? You will start empathizing with others. You will become very sensitive to others' emotions. You will express yourself very frankly in an honest way. You will have that arjavam. Even in the Sri Hanumadhyana, that word arjavam has been mentioned, no? Not once. In that portion, it keeps on coming. Arjavam, Arjavam, Ramadhutam Bhaje. That every now and then that keeps repeating, no? Why? Because Hanuman had that Arjavam, straightforwardness. But Hanuman also had this other quality. He used to talk in such a way which will never hurt others. He was straightforward, but he was very sensitive towards others' emotions. So when he went as a messenger of Rama, messenger in the sense to find Sita, and he was the one who was successful. And Rama also intuitively knew that Hanuman alone will succeed. That is why he gave him the ring and said, I know you will find Sita, you show this to her. So when Hanuman came back, Rama was waiting. In the Kamba Ramayanam, it's been so beautifully explained, Kambar was a great Tamil poet. He wrote the Ramayanam. Now, he says, how did Hanuman give this news of Sita, that he had seen Sita? Kandeen Sitayai. Kandeen Sitayai means saw Sita. He didn't say Sitayai Kandeen. That is the right structure, no? He didn't start with the word Sita. He first put Kandeen, which means I have seen, and then only he says Sita. Why? Because Hanuman was so sensitive about about Rama's emotions. He knew the deep, deep love which Rama had for Sita. So, as a person who was serving Rama, he didn't want Rama to go through even that split second of anxiety. If he had said Sitayai first, then for that split second, Rama will go through that anxiety. Oh, Sitayai, has he seen her or not? He didn't want Rama to even go through that much of anxiety. Therefore, he first declared the result and then only he said Sitayai, Kandeen Sitayai. It's so beautifully given out in the Kamba Ramayana. That was the beauty of the great Hanuman. He had on one hand the quality of Arjavam, which is straightforwardness, but at the same time he was extremely diplomatic. He was never rude. See, some people, what they do is, in the name of straightforwardness, they become very rude. They say, no, truth is very bitter. Why? Truth can be given out in a nice way also, no? See, we generally bring such statements to justify our wrong things, just to justify our wrong way of functioning. So you should also become like Hanuman. On one hand, you should be very upright, but at the same time, you should be very gentle. You should be so sensitive towards others' emotions. You know, in the Ramayana, the relationship between Hanuman and Rama, it is unparalleled. There is no, that relationship is so pure, it is simply amazing, provided you know how to decode this. The kind of love, affection which Rama had for Hanuman, unbelievable. The kind of love, affection, the kind of devotion which Hanuman had towards Rama, that is also unimaginable. The problem is, when we talk about Rama, we will criticize Rama. People, I've seen many people, Rama, why did he do this? When we talk about Hanuman, again something or other we'll pick up and we'll criticize him. Our minds are trained in such a way that we don't want to take any positivity. Anything positive we'll discard. Anything negative, we will keep talking about it. So our Puranas, our itihasas like Ramayana, Mahabharata, they are all full of such wonderful incidents. It is the same principle which is being given here, that has been given out in the form of an incident for a common person to easily understand. So, this is a yardstick with which you can measure your spiritual progress. Am I identifying with others? When another person is happy, do I also feel happy? Do I feel like blessing that person? If the other person is going through some problem, do I genuinely feel sorry for that person? And am I seeing in what way can I help the person? Sometimes you may not be able to help. It's not that you have a duty towards everyone, but that identification should be there. When another person goes through a problem, sometimes the mind feels so happy, he deserves it. That is not the correct approach, especially when we see a person who's famous, that person gets into a problem. Many people comment so easily, that person deserves it, What do you know of that person? Have you moved with that person? Nothing. You don't have any facts. Just because that person has done a mistake. First of all, you don't even know whether that person has done or not. Or assuming that person has done, immediately unleashing all your criticism emotions and taking a vent, All that is tamas, not being sensitive to others' emotions. And then we saw one more dimension, which is Stenaha wants only to take. He keeps on taking. There is nothing which he wants to give in life. That is a very dangerous quality. So if you are not careful, the tamas in you will prompt you to go on taking without giving back anything in return. In all the scriptures, whenever the context comes, the emphasis has been laid on repaying. If you truly want to be a yogi, you should avoid this deadly quality of tamas. Stenaha is one aspect of tamas. So just imagine a society where everybody wants to take. What will happen to that society? Very, very dangerous. I happened to read a story long back where a person was, he died and his soul was taken to God. His soul went to God, where it was decided whether you have to go to heaven or hell. So he wanted to know the difference. I want to experience hell. I want to see first what is there in hell, and I also want to see what is there in heaven. So God said, okay. So he was first taken to hell. And what was there is, that it was lunchtime that time. They were all sitting, and wonderful meal was kept in front of them, all the people who were staying there. Very, very, the smell was so good. It was hot, and from the smell itself, this person could feel the taste. So powerful it was. All that was kept, and the bowl was kept in front of them. The only problem was they were given such long spoons with very, very long handles. The rule is you should not use your hands. See, this is just a story here. Now, don't ask me from which Purana is this. This is not a Puranic story, but I read it elsewhere, which is very apt here. So, very, very long handle. So, they were unable to use the spoon because they were supposed to sit and eat and take the food and consume it, because they were unable to handle it. So, all the food was falling here and there. So, ultimately, they were suffering. So when he saw that, he said, oh, I understand. This is real hell, because excellent food is kept in front of you, but you are unable to eat it. Then he said, I want to find out what is there in heaven. So as he was going, he was thinking, I am sure the same food will be kept in heaven, but with one difference, they'll have the right size spoon so that they can easily eat it. And when he went there, same lunchtime, he found that the same food was kept. He said, see, it's right. I am right. But to his utter surprise, he found that the spoons which were there, they also had the same long handles. So then he turned to the person who was taking him, who was taking him around. He said, how is this heaven? He said, you observe. You observe what people do. So they all came and they sat. One this side, one that side. So he was very curious. How are they going to eat the food? Very simple. The first person took the food and fed the person who was in front of him. Because with the spoon he couldn't bring it here, but with the spoon he could easily reach out to the other person, and that person ate. And then that person, what he did is, using his spoon, he took the food and fed this person. That is yajna, parasparam. This story actually gives you a very deep insight. Heaven and hell are not in the nature of things. It is how you approach that. So when each one is selfish, it becomes hell. That environment itself becomes like hell. When you're constantly taking it, your life will be like hell. Whereas, when there is a giving and taking, when there is a spirit of parasparam, it becomes heaven for you. The same family, the same society, the same country can be hell or heaven, depending upon how the individual members function. So when the tamasic people, that is tenaha type of people, increase in society, then that will become hell. So don't complain that the spoon is long. That is the moral of the story. You have to see how to use that effectively to make yourself happy and to make the other person happy. So if you develop the sattvic approach, you will stop complaining. Instead, you will start looking for solutions. So reflect on that story. The moral of the story is very good. So when you reflect on the stories, on that particular story, now you will start seeing, okay, I have so many things in life. How to utilize them to the best of my ability to become happy and to create happiness for others. Whereas a tamasic person, he wants to use all that only for his own happiness. Nobody else should be happy. In that process, he loses his happiness also. It's a very important dimension, wanting only to take. Then we will see a few more dimensions which are very important, which especially from a sadhana point of view, the last two dimensions, we'll see two more dimensions. Two dimensions which I'll be giving you are extremely important. Now, till now, I was telling you the direct quality of stenaha. Now, we will see stenaha from a standpoint of the effect. That is, when you're not grateful, when you constantly want to take, what will happen to you? From that also we'll see two dimensions, so that you can ensure that that effect never comes in your life. That is, a stenaha is one who keeps on increasing his karmic debts. This is a very important dimension because we are in the chapter of Karma Yoga. What do we mean by a karmic debt? I want you to understand this principle thoroughly, because this can transform your life. As a sadhak, you need to master your karmas. So what are karmas? The word karma is a multidimensional word. So many dimensions are there. But in this context, we are talking about the consequences. So every action which you do has a result in your life, has a consequence. So in the context of giving and taking, this dimension becomes very important. So your whole life can be seen from an accounts point of view, spiritual accounts, we can say. Karma is nothing but a book of accounts. You have debits, you have credits, in an account book. Similarly, in life also, the positive actions, the positive thoughts, positive emotions which you generate, all these things are your credits from a spiritual point of view. The negative actions which you perform, the negative emotions and thoughts which you entertain, they are all like debits. This is the book of karma, we can say. So you would have read in the Puranas about the person called Chitragupta in the Yamaloka. Yama is a god of death. So Chitragupta is a person who's sitting there with this karmic book, karmic accounts, what the yogis called as Akashic records. See, all our karmas are stored in the form of Akashic records. Akashic means, Akash means that which is not visible to you, space. So in our higher bodies, these karmic records are stored. The karmic records are actually stored between the fourth body, that is the Vijnanamaya Kosha, the body of knowledge, the wisdom, and the fifth body, that is the bliss body, Anandamaya Kosha. Some people say it belongs to the Anandamaya Kosha. Some people say it belongs to the fourth body, Vijnanamaya Kosha. But it is a connecting factor, we can say. So Chitragupta in the Yamaloka, it's been dramatized, a person dies and the soul is taken to Yamaloka. Immediately Chitragupta opens the book of account. What all negative things have you done? What all credits, what are all the positive things have you done? So for these things, you have to face these punishments in hell. For these things, you will stay some time in heaven and then you will be born again. This is how in the Puranas they have given. Now, it is very beautifully explained. They are only explaining the karmic accounts which is actually that account book is only ruling your life. And who is debiting and crediting? It is you. Your own actions, emotions and thoughts determine whether it is a debit or credit. So when the debits become more, that is what they called as karmic debts. When the credits, the spiritual credits, that is positive actions, positive karmas are more, they called it as the karmic surplus. See, the principle is exactly like normal accounts which we deal with, during when we talk about finance. Whatever those principles are, the same thing is applicable at the spiritual level also. So every time you generate a negative thought, a negative emotion, or you do something negative or speak something negative, understand it's a karmic debt which you are creating, a debit. Generally what happens, if your debits are more, then your bank balance will be negative. The bank balance is the results which you are getting in life. If your credits are more, then your bank balance will be positive. This is from a finance point of view. Same thing from the spiritual point of view also. Every time you are generating a positive thought, positive emotion, you're doing a positive action, you're speaking in a positive way, it's a karmic surplus you're creating. Karmic surplus means positive karmas. So, according to whether the balance is positive or negative, your life will, attract positive things or negative things. If your karmic balance is highly negative, then anything which you do will not be successful, because they will function as blocks. This is applicable even with respect to certain particular areas of life. In some particular area, if your karmic balance is negative, then blocks are created there. If your karmic balance is positive, then that will give very positive results. So if you really want to grow spiritually, you should avoid having these karmic debts. When is it that you get a karmic debt in life? With respect to parasparam, give and take. When you take more and give less, then you are creating a clear karmic debt. When you give more than what you're taking, you're creating a karmic surplus. When we come to the sattvic thing, we'll see that. When your giving and taking is exactly equal, then that is the state of rajas. You're not really increasing your karmic debts, nor are you really increasing your karmic surplus. Just the normal ups and downs of life are gone through by you. But first I want you to focus and understand this principle of karmic debts. So when a person is very ungrateful, what is he doing? he's creating a karmic debt. See, all this will fit in. Whenever you are adharmic, you want what belongs to others, you are again creating a karmic debt. Whenever you are insensitive towards others' emotions, you start hurting. Anything negative, that creates a karmic debt in your spiritual book of accounts. See, this higher wisdom is being given to you, drawing parallels to the finance accounts and all that, so that it becomes easy for you to understand. See, if you understand it this way, it's very easy for you to understand the principle, and also for you to see what's happening in your life and how to change them. So if you are getting an undesirable result in some area in life, it means there are a lot of karmic blocks there. Whenever you don't put enough effort in a particular field, that is also that becomes a karmic block. In the empowerment programs which we have, those empowerment programs are specifically designed to remove these karmic blocks created by these karmic debts. That is why when you attend an empowerment program, many positive things start happening in your life instantly. Why people have sent mail saying that they register for the program sincerely, they commit, immediately something good happens. It's not a big miracle in that sense. There is a cause and effect relationship. You fail to read that. So as a sadhak, from now on, you should start seeing life in a deeper way. Whatever is happening in your life is nothing but your karmas. And whenever your karmas are negative, it creates a karmic debt. Whenever your karmas are positive, that creates a karmic surplus. And when your karmas become zero, that is, you go beyond negative and positive, that is when you reach the infinite. But your first step should be to resolve all your karmic debts in life and keep increasing the karmic surplus, because that is conducive for meditation. And then through the higher meditation, you will go beyond the very principle of goodness also. See, the moment we say goodness, it is always with respect to badness. So you go beyond all relativity, which is 100% goodness, we can say. So that part we will see later. But first, from a tamas point of view, the stenaha is one who keeps on increasing the karmic debts in life. So take it up as a homework. I want you to think about this. What am I doing in my life? Am I creating blocks for myself at any level? You will be. It's a question of recognizing that and correcting that. Am I increasing my karmic debts unnecessarily? How will you determine whether you're increasing or not? By examining your intention. Am I wanting to always take in that area and never give anything in return? Then you're increasing your karmic debt in that area. So you take it up as today's homework and just ask yourself these questions. Try to probe into this principle and understand it a little more deeply. It will help you to look at your life in a totally different way. You start that process today. Next week, I'll give you more insights. We'll get into it in a more deep way, and we'll also see how to practically apply these things. And then we'll also see one more dimension before proceeding further. Okay? So we'll stop with this today. Before we do the meditation, I will just take up one question. This question is about the Yoga Sankirtan empowerment. Hari Om Yogishri. I am watching the discourses for last 1 year now, and there have been many positive changes in my life. Thank you so much, Yogishri. I have been doing my Yoga Sankirtan sadhana regularly for the past 6 months, and I have registered for the empowerment course too. I have purchased the energy cards but do not know how to use them. I wanted to know if you would be telling us how to use them properly during the empowerment. Thank you again for giving us the sacred wisdom through the Sunday sessions. Pranams. Very nice bhavana. Sadhak, we can feel the energy through the question. So these energy cards which have been given have been specially energized for your personal sadhana. I did mention it during the release of Sri Hanuman Dhyana also. I have explained how to use it. But anyway, you don't need to worry. During the empowerment course, it will be explained to you. And not only that, special empowerment will be given to you as you are made to use the cards. I'll be giving you instructions and energizing your sadhana cards more and more. So earlier these sadhana cards were not available, but now that they are available, during every empowerment you will be asked to use those cards, and the special further boost will be given. So no need to worry. Till then, you can just simply place the card in front of you and derive inspiration from that just before your sadhana. And after your sadhana, you can keep it inside, wherever you are keeping that. So that's a very simple way of using it. So you can do that, because anyway the empowerment is coming in a few weeks. The theme is Become Divine. It's a very powerful theme. Tremendous energy flow is going to be there. So each day corresponding to that particular Yoga Sankirtan, that card you have to use during the empowerment session. So all those things will be taught to you. And more than the do's and don'ts of how to use the card, special empowerment will be given to energize the card. So be ready with your energy cards during this empowerment course. That will magnify the benefits which you can receive. Okay, so now we'll do Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. I am not this physical body. I am not the pranas. I am not these various emotions and thoughts. I am that infinite, supreme reality. From this moment onwards, I bring this intention, bhavana, to increase my karmic surplus. I am Swayam Prakashit, self illuminating, offer your gratitude to God Supreme, offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today, many deep insights have been given to you. It looks like the same dimensions only were dealt with. Of course, we saw a new dimension also today, but deeper insights have been given. So, see, every session we are trying to increase the depth. That is a very important thing for you to, master if you truly want to benefit. This principle of karmic debts, that is so important in your life. Anyway, the next session also I'll go into more depth of that. Whatever questions you have, you can mail them. Everything will be answered. That you don't need to worry. And regarding the empowerment program, get yourself ready. It's going to be a blast of energy, divine energy. It's going to make you divine, make your life so divine. So do your daily sadhana, don't miss that. And start writing down your goals. What is it that I want? And you will find that those things will start materializing. Because when these karmic blocks are removed, then the materialization happens very fast. Because some of you may wonder, how all these results happen. How does it happen, It's, as I told you, it's not without a cause and effect. When all these factors are taken care of, then the materialization happens. Okay. So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next session. Hari Om.